What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814EDC, and today I'm ready to bring my full review on the Grambeau Knives Assettos. So you have one in full titanium, and then you also have one in black micarta. So these are the second two knives that came in the Grambeau package. I just filmed my review of the Russ, which I thought was a very, very cool knife, and I think I had a pretty positive review on that. And these are two cool front flippers. So you have a, like I said, black micarta, and you also have a full titanium. So I'm going to give my full thoughts and reviews on, or full thoughts and opinions on these two. And I think if you guys caught the review on the Russ, I think this will also be a pretty positive review. I enjoyed having these in. I think the designer behind Grambeau has two very cool designs in his hands. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into materials. So I'm going to try to go, I'm not going to go over both knives because they're the same exact knife with just different materials. So I will talk about the full titanium version first. So you have full tie scales, milled titanium pod clip that is, not deep carry very well, in my opinion, has about that much of your knife sticking up out. Again, some people don't get bothered by that, but I much prefer having a deep carry clip. But from an aesthetic standpoint and a look standpoint, I do think it looks pretty good. You can tell that these are front flippers. Has a titanium backspacer with a lanyard post. Has a clip point kind of Bowie style blade. Has a nice swedge built in up here, and then these are hollow ground, which are really, really cool. M390 on the blade steel. Grambeau is on the scale here. They are frame locks, or in the case of the micarta, it is a bolster lock. These have ceramic bearings for internal milling. On the titanium version, there is 4 different pockets of milling on the show scale side, and on the lock bar side there is 4 as well. They're just a little bit smaller. What else? Jimping up here for the front flipper, of course. Milling for the micarta version has the same amount of milling, but it's a very significant amount lighter because you do have so much titanium taken off there for the micarta. You have the same micarta titanium backspacer, same pocket clip, same M390 clip point or Bowie clip or Bowie style blade. A Bowie clip's a good name for it. Front flipper on bearings, literally the same exact knife, just with different scales. So materials are good though. They seem very, very premium. The fit and finish is very well done. And these are also designed by Grambeau Knives, but they are produced and OEM'd by Bestech Knives. I think Bestech's really doing some good things. I've had a few of them in the past, and while the designs haven't exactly been my speed, the fit and finish and the overall make of the knives were very, very well done. And I think Kev and Colin, Devo Knives, I believe they're using Bestech for one of their upcoming models. I can't remember. I know they use QSP on the Stout. I can't remember where the buzz is coming from. If it's coming from, it actually might be Bestech. It's hard to keep track because they're dabbling in a bunch of different OEMs, but nonetheless, Bestech does a really, really well done job, or really, can't talk today, guys. A really, really good job. They produce some well-made knives and products, and these are definitely apparent in that regard. So, yeah, materials are all really well done, and I think they did a good job with the titanium and the micarta. Titanium doesn't really have too much of a texture. It kind of just has like a stone-washed pattern or color. Not a orange peel or anything like that, but it's not slick. It feels good in the hands. And then the micarta on the micarta version is nice micarta. It's not too hard, but not too soft. It has some good grip to it. Overall, I think that it did a good job on both of them. So next up is action. So keeping with the trend of the titanium version, thunder's out of there. The only deployment method of this knife is a front flipper. I tried to somehow use the blade area up here to middle finger flick it, but you just can't get enough leverage because that swedge is built in there, so it's like tapering together to form a triangle. But there are some front flippers out there that I've handled that you can use like the hollow grindness of the blade, but just the way the blade is sitting in here, you can't do that. So from a front flipper only perspective, The detent is tuned very, very well. I mean, you guys can hear this thing just snaps out of there. You can see the closing action's very smooth as well. There is a little bit more lock bar pressure on there, I feel like. So you kind of have to make sure you get that the whole way out of the way and it drops right down. But other times it might be a little bit slower. Top flip. It's hard to do on this one because of the frame lock. It's definitely easier to do. See, I can't even get it. Yeah, it's hard to do on the frame lock one. The bolster lock one definitely works a little bit better, but lefty works well. The bearings are nice and smooth. No blade play at all on this one. And I really do enjoy a good front flipper. There's just nothing like kind of just moving your thumb over and it just thundering out of there. Nice snappiness. Yeah, I can get that top flip to budge at all. And that's just because I'm putting lock bar pressure when I'm holding it. But, you know, closing action's good on this one. Front flip is nice and snappy. And that's nonetheless for the micarta version as well. I will say the detent seems a little bit stiffer on the titanium version. I can kind of get this one out a little bit more. I feel like you don't have to put as much pressure. And you can see it drops a little bit easier. You have that bolster lock there, so you just got to nudge it out of the way, and it drops down. And there I can get the top flip to work, just because you don't have where I grip it to top flip it. The middle finger would grip on the frame lock, and it would just push pressure down. But on the bolster lock version, you don't have to worry about that, which is why I tend to prefer bolster locks. They just make a little bit more sense from the fidget, standpoint on knives. But yeah, and it seems like this one might be. I mean, there's no blade play on this one either, but I don't know if the detent is just tuned a little bit lighter. So that's why the drop is a little bit better, and it comes out just a smidgen easier. I feel like you don't have to. Kind of torque as much. The acoustics are better on the titanium, of course, because micarta tends to, sort of dampen sounds. But even the micarta one is very nice and snappy. Well, of course it's snappy, but it still has some decent acoustics to it. But in my opinion, the titanium is just a smidgen louder. So action on both of these for front flipper are very, very well tuned. Detents are on point for both of them, and the closing actions are smooth and very fun to fidget with. So just heard a loud noise outside my house. Don't know what it was. But next up is ergos. And the ergos are fantastic on this knife. So you do have, I guess, a little bit of jimping right here, but it's just not much at all because that's where the front flipper goes. And oftentimes I either land here, I can use this as a thumb ramp, or if I'm choked out a lot, I can kind of find myself on the downward area of this ramp for more precise sort of push cuts that I'm doing. But all the titanium is nicely contoured. It's nicely, rounded off on the edges. There's no sharp edges at all. Even the corners back here have a nice, softness to them almost. But I can easily get all 4 fingers on the knife. There's a little bit of tang sticking out there, but not much at all. And saber grip's very, very comfortable. Any of the reverse, draw cut, whatever you would call this, hammer grip, like they're all super, super comfortable for anything you're gonna be getting yourself into. But a front flipper tends to be a little bit more of a gentlemanly carry, so I don't know how much you're going to be, out beating the snot out of it. But so whatever you do with your knives is whatever you do with your knives. So one gripe I will say that I said earlier. The titanium is a significant amount heavier than the micarta. See if it's on here. So the micarta version is 3 ounces, and it says the titanium is 3.5. And you can definitely tell the difference. I mean, we're not on the carryability section yet of my review, but weight definitely goes into ergos as well. And it's not like this is a heavy knife, but like if they didn't make this one and they just were trying to sell this one and I didn't have anything to compare it to, like I don't think I would think this knife would be heavy. I'd be like, okay, this has a a nice hefty weight to it. But with that milling, it makes it bearable, and it makes it feel kind of substantial in the hand. But I definitely like the micarta because it's nice and lightweight. It still has that nice, locked up, no blade play. And I think just the lightweightness feels a little bit better in my hand because you're still feeling nice and substantial. The micarta has some really nice grip to it without being like really dry and kind of shitty micarta. But saber grip feels good. Hammer grip, reverse hammer grip, or draw cut, whatever you want to call this. Any way you hold the knife, it's going to be comfortable. Again, no sharp edges or anything like that. The pot clip sits very flush to the scale because it is a milled clip. A lot of milled clips tend to do that. The deep carry, like loop over style clips, is where you tend to get a little bit of hot spottiness. But honestly, I can't feel this at all until I'm like really gripping down hard, and then I can just feel it back here on my, sort of the palm of my hand where my pinky finger is. So, overall, ergos are very well done, and I, really applaud them for that. Because a good ergonomic knife is a good knife. So, and just the curve of the scale makes it very, very comfortable to kind of hold in a saber grip and to be, doing cuts like that. But it's very, as much as it curves, it's also very neutral at the same time. So again, very, very comfortable. Next up is carry. And you already know which one is going to carry a little bit better just due to me talking about it. But the micarta version carries just better in general because it's lighter. Has the same pot clip, has the same blade. I mean, it's literally the same knife, same shape and everything like that, same pot clip. You just have micarta, which makes it half an ounce lighter. And you wouldn't think that half an ounce really makes a difference, but it does. I've carried both of these in gym shorts. You can definitely tell that this one's in there. This one, not so much. Back right pocket of shorts. If you wear like shorts with a belt or jeans with a belt, you can't really tell as much, but the gym shorts definitely made it a little bit apparent that this was heavier than this one. And it's not too often that I can tell the difference, but and again, you people might think some of you guys watching the video might think I'm crazy just because it's, again, half an ounce and that's not really that big of a deal. But to me, I would just, like I said, if this wasn't a thing and they only made a titanium version of this knife, I probably wouldn't think twice about it. But having felt the micarta version and having felt how lightweight it is, I just tend to side with that a little bit more. But for both versions, you have about that much sticking up out of your pocket, which again I don't love. I wish maybe they only made like a one screw milled clip, which it'll make it a little bit deeper in the pocket. Then I think that would be a little bit better in my opinion. But overall, not terrible. Some people, again, probably don't really care that knife sticks out of your pocket like that. They probably enjoy having something to grab onto. But I've said it again and again, and you guys already know this, but I just tend to be kind of a deep carry whore. I just definitely prefer deep carry clips. I definitely prefer when knives are completely disappeared into your pocket. But the actual clip itself functions well in and out of your pocket, pretty easily. You don't have anything sticking out here. It's all nice and contoured. Same with the micarta. Yeah, no flipper tab, anything like that. So overall, besides this being a tad bit heavy, it carries very, very well. I just wish the pocket clips were a little bit deeper, and that's really about it. So that leads me to my final category of price point and what I recommend this knife. I would recommend both of these. I really have appreciated both of them. I think that they are great knives. I think if I were to get one of the Grambeau knives, I would definitely get one of these over the Rust, just because, I don't know. The Rust is a great knife if you guys saw the review of that. If not, it's a video probably right before this one. So I did enjoy this. Just overall, I like these a little bit better. The front flipper action is nice and snappy. The overall aesthetic, I think, looks good. To me, this reminds me of a, Pena style front flipper. So if you're into Pena style front flippers and those type of designs, I think that you will appreciate this one. And I think if, same for this one, if you just like a full titanium version, you kind of can pick and choose. So you have full tie, a little bit heavier, but definitely a very well-made knife, has some good quality to it. And then also with the micarta, you want a little bit lighter of a knife, but this also has really good build quality. I think Beztech knocked it out of the park with these. So they both go for $261, but with shipping it's approximately $295. These were both pre-orders, similar to the Rust, and they're both sold out. They're not doing them anymore. but I will leave a link to the website down below and their Instagram page if I can find it. If you're interested, I'm sure they're going to be having some extras left over to do a drop, so definitely keep your eyes out for that. You know, if I had unlimited knife funds and I could go pick up what I wanted, I think I would get one of these, because I just like kind of the traditional style with like the Bowie clip style blade, paired with the micarta, but with the modern functionality of M390 and you know, bearings and everything like that. And I think it's a great knife. I think both of these are really good knives, and I was pleasantly surprised. You know, similar to the Russ, I wasn't, you know, super amped to get these in, but they have definitely grown on me, and I think that you know, I can recommend these to anybody that in the future, if they have these more readily available, I would definitely, you know, not hesitate to pick one of these up, and I might even, you know, pick one of these up over a Pena. I still have to experience a Pena. I don't think I've checked one out yet, but I think Beztech is really, you know, the gap from Beztech and you know, QSP and Kubi. They're not all on the same level, but they're all in kind of the ballpark. But I think the gap between like those and Riot has closed a little bit. I still would put Riot like at the top of OEMs from China, but I think a lot of other ones have definitely, the gap has shortened, and I think they're making some really quality stuff, and Beztech is right in that pack. So absolutely would recommend these knives for right around $300. I think, you know, again, it's a boutique brand, so you're supporting that as well. But I think for the materials you're getting, titanium, M390, micarta, you know, bearings, great action. I think that you are getting a good deal. So that's all I have for today, guys. Again, these will be linked down below in the description if you're interested. Keep your eye on it for the website. Maybe there's an email list you could sign up for, or if I can find the Instagram, I will also leave that link down below. But yeah, that's all I have for this. That's all I have to say for today, guys. Don't forget to use code 814EDC at checkout at Blue Creek Knives for 10% off of your order. That is always going to be linked in the description down below, so go check that out. I appreciate your support there. And yeah, I just appreciate your guys' support in general. I'm always watching the videos, always commenting. So yeah, that's all I have for today, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.